Hey everybody, welcome into this week's episode of Tony's Spot on Fishing. I'm your host, Tony Krizek, and it's a very, very special episode, a little peek into everything that transpired at the Breanne Conterio Foundation's first annual Fishing for Life tournament. What an event it was, and before we even go any further, a big thank you to the Breanne Conterio Foundation for allowing Spot on Fishing to help spread the word of the great work that your organization does, as well as to promote the tournament on your behalf. And to be a part of this day was just super special for us, and we cannot thank you all enough for allowing us to be a part of your big event. But man, it was something else. Let me tell you, we had about 3 weeks prior to the event, we had been out there shooting some promotional videos, Facebook Live videos I'm sure many of you had seen, and pre-fishing the river, just finding our spots, seeing what they're biting on, what structures they're holding to, all that good stuff that you do before a tournament. And then Mother Nature decided to change the whole game, didn't she? Of course, always. Why would it be any different for us this season? We had torrential rains, and even for a day or two before the event, we watched a weather system, a cell, pretty much sit right on top of that stretch of the river. A lot of rain fell. We had big cold front conditions. Totally changed the entire landscape of that river. So all that hard work that we had put in leading up to it was out the window. And we had about a 24-hour period to come up with a new game plan. So we had 21 boats for this event. Great turnout, and a big thank you to everyone who participated. But as I had stated, that main river, we had a lot of current. So our game plan, as far as in my boat, we were still going to fish the spots that I knew and had contacted fish before and just try to get bites there. Now, a lot of the other anglers had some great ideas, and we're going to talk about that too in a second. But we had our brief safety meeting that morning, just before, about 6:15, 6:20, and at 6:30, we were off and running. And it is always a blast taking off all the boats like that, calling boat numbers, and we all hit the throttles and we're out of there. Now we had ran to a first stretch, our first spot, didn't prove to be too fruitful. So there was one area I had found off this one point. Good little stretch of river, had perfect conditions. We had weeds, some rock, a little creek on the backside of this island from the bay flowing out, and it was shielded from the main river current. Had only been catching little fish off of it, pre-fishing it. It was on my run to my next spot. I told my partner, I said, all right, we're gonna stop. We're gonna hit it real quick, see if there's something there. Lo and behold, there was about a 14-inch smallie. Boat flipped it, no big deal. Shook off my jig, hit the deck of the boat, bounced right back in before I could even blink an eye. That was the start of our day, and it just got harder and harder on that main river. My boat partner had hooked a good keeper. Unfortunately, that one shook off, jumped midway back. We did manage to weigh in 3 fish though. Kind of haunting what those 2 other keepers, had we kept them and were able to land them, what that would have changed, hard to say, because there was some big weights. We missed the boat, no pun intended. That pattern was really more fishing along the lines of backwater areas. Now there are some areas that were a little tricky to get into that unless you really knew your ins and outs, I wasn't very comfortable doing it myself. And of course, we also had a lot of anglers that fished on the Kankakee River as well, which I have a couple spots there. It's not my home base, more familiar with that main river of the Des Plaines. And again, I was working with much less areas with the way that current was pushing out. Thankfully, we didn't have a lot of debris to it though. It was pretty easy, safe travels through the main river channels down there. But a lot of fish caught. Guys who were able to get into those backwater areas were finding those fish. Guys that were fishing the Kank were finding fish. And we had some great weights come in. Only 3 boats didn't weigh in a fish out of those 21. So plenty of fish came in. It was a joy to see that many anglers have that much success out there. Right now, let's take a look at the top 3 finishers in this great event. Coming in 3rd place was Eddie and Kristen Gadd. Husband and wife teamed up. Of course, Eddie, the owner of Sure Set Tackle, who is one of the very generous sponsors of this tournament, donating a great lure package for the raffles later on. They actually weighed in 9.9 pounds for third place. Second place belonged to Breanne Conterio, 10.5 pounds for Mr. Conterio. First place belonged to our good friend of the show and owner of Fish Tech Stores and the head guy for Jimmy T's Guide Service, Jim Templin. His boat brought in 14.3 pounds. Jimmy also had big bass for the event at 3.7 pounds. So there is 3 good weights for that river under these tough conditions. Congratulations to all the anglers who are out there participating, paddling that strong northeast wind all day. And it was chilly, windy, rough, but man, we caught some fish. Congratulations to everybody, and especially our top 3. We would once again like to thank all the great sponsors that donated either money or prize packages for the raffles. Blue Brine Michaels Entertainment, the great producers of Tony's Spot on Fishing. We also saw great raffles from Mammoth Custom Lures, Sure Set Tackle, Vexen Lures, and 2 great guide trips, a full day from Sean Birmingham, plus a half-day guide trip with Jim Templin. A big thank you to everyone who was part of that. Muskie Attacker Tackle Company, Thrivent Financial, and of course Pepsi Corporation all helped make this event what it was. And a very big thank you again to the Breanne Conterio Foundation. All their hard work that they've put on to help produce this event, and all the great work that they're doing to help raise awareness, not just for organ and tissue donation, but the work that they're doing, raising money for those who are part of have gone through a transplant. And you know, there's bills that have to be paid. And unfortunately, when you're going through something like this, you don't think about how much time you miss from work. And the fact that they're raising money to help these people out and get them back to a normal sense of life quicker rather than later is just beautiful. Plus also they do fundraising for a scholarship program. Those that are going into the medical field, they help back those as well to get them a scholarship, get them going. And if anyone would like more information about this great foundation, donate time, money, whatever you can do to help them, BreanneFoundation.org is their website. Once again, thank you to everyone who came together to make this such a great success. We had a blast fishing it. We hope to see all the same anglers back again next year, and hopefully some new faces as well. We hope you all enjoyed this little recap of the day's events. It was a fun day, regardless of that weather, and we've raised a lot of money for a great cause. Again, thank you to everyone. And once again, my name is Tony Krizek, and we will see you again on Tony's Spot on Fishing.